Welcome back, everyone. It's been a couple of days. We're checking out Serral versus AlphaStar Zerg and AlphaStar Terran. So I have two games. These are the games from Blizzcon. So you guys saw that I analyzed and checked through Serral versus Protoss AlphaStar. Now we're gonna check versus Zerg 1 and versus the Terran. Now I played versus the same Zerg one because I don't think there are many different Zerg AlphaStars. If you guys remember, the epic long game I mentioned was against the Zerg one, and from what I've talked to Serral and the timing that AlphaStar did, it's probably the same one. Now, one thing I want to mention: a couple of people were discussing this in the YouTube videos, mentioning that the AlphaStar games that I've reviewed are like cut off, like the screen seems cut off. It's because the editor zoomed in on the gameplay screen, and then the chat that you see there, right there, is kind of cut off because of it. So there's no mistake in editing. It's just that this screen was zoomed in so you guys can see more of it. Okay, that's it. Just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so Serral's spamming, amazing. He told me about this game when I talked to him at BlizzCon, like what happened. And he said that the build that AlphaStar did doesn't make any sense and that it's a stupid build. So, we'll see. This is the build that he did against Serral is like, I feel that Zerg AlphaStar does this in every single matchup, and not just the one agent, but multiple agents do the same thing of doing some kind of like roach queen pushes, and it's like a big timing. So they either do like a timing of like 20-ish something drones, timing of like 40 something with Roach Ravager Queen. The first one is like just Roach Queen. Or they do like the AlphaStar did against me at BlizzCon, which was like 80 drone Roach Ravager Queen just rally constantly. So yeah. Serral played Terran? No, so Serral played 3 games against Protoss, 1 against Zerg, and 1 against Terran. So we're gonna check the Terran one after this one, straight away. So that's the plan. So far, nothing really happened. Serral went for hatch first. He's scouting, he's scanning the drones, how many there are on the natural. He's getting his own third. He's checking for AlphaStar's third right now. He doesn't see it, doesn't see the drone moving out. He's checking the top side to see if AlphaStar expanded there, maybe. Okay. We see a guy with the huge face on the left. Well, if this video gets zoomed in, we're not going to see that. But trust me, there was a guy with big head on the left side. Now, let's see. Serral's scouting. He's starting his Evo chamber. He's droning up. He never went in the base. What was that building? I didn't see if he clicked on it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Put your phone up, dude. I can't see that. Oh, no. Whoever's... Okay, there we go. 8Jack's putting the phone down a little bit. Almost. Okay, so he made a round of links. Just 8 links. I think he made the round of links to scout what AlphaStar's doing. He's getting the Roach Warren up right now. He lost the link, so he has no idea what's happening. Okay, he scouts. He sees Evo Chamber, Roaches. Okay, so he sees double gas Roach Warren. So this is like an all-in. Because he's 2 base, no layer. Oh, 3 gas. Wait, so 3 gas Roach push with no layer. Oh, but he's doing a +1. So this is why Serral told me that what AlphaStar did is like stupid and doesn't make sense. Because he never got layer. He just went with +1 attack off of hatchery tech. Which, if you do, like, there are obviously 2 base openings in ZVZ where you go like 3 gas, roach speed +1 into +2 and just mass roaches, and then you get a third while you do a push. But I think what AlphaStar did is he did the push with no layer. And it probably arrives a little bit earlier. Holy, that's a lot of roaches. Okay, Serral canceled the layer. Yeah, so they're the queens. This is something that every AlphaStar Zerg agent does. All of the Zerg AlphaStars learned this, are doing this. They always pull the queens with whatever attack they do, every single time. And they just keep making queens depending on their economy. And they just do it. Like, they consider it very, very worth it. So there it is. They're Ravagers as well. Obviously, Serral's trying to micro. They both have +1, right? Serral has a +1, AlphaStar has a +1. Now, this is a problem. This is where the queens arrive, and they're filled with energy. So they can just transfuse. And that's it. That's what... I guess that's why Serral told me that it's like a really stupid build, because when you look at it like from player, human point of view, this doesn't make sense, because it's like, well, it's better to just get layer and roach speed as well. This push does arrive earlier, and it comes with queens, which again is not a thing that people do. But the AlphaStar stops injecting at some point and just starts gathering queen energy, because it had 4 queens, I think, if I counted correctly. Maybe it had 6, maybe it had 2 more coming, because it produces like 2, 2, 2. Now, the one thing I want to mention is at a point where, so yeah, here, so Serral scouts and AlphaStar, how many drones? I'm going to actually count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, yeah, 10, right? Oh no, there's another stacked drone here. Doesn't matter. It's not full saturation. That's the point I'm trying to make. The main was fully saturated with double gas. The natural had a gas, and it had about, let's say 12, 13 drones for the sake of it. Now, this is the interesting part. If you look at Serral's economy, so Serral, he just showed his main base for a split second there. There we go. So his main is fully saturated and 3 drones on the gas. So AlphaStar at this point and Serral have the same amount of drones. Exactly the same amount of drones. But AlphaStar also had like 5 more roaches at this point, and it's producing like probably like 10 more roaches. And this is what I always told people. AlphaStar's Zerg macro, I don't know exactly how he does it. Like these final agents. And there is a replay pack, which I'm going to check. But I feel like it macros like really, really well. Like super, super well. And I feel like it has more units than I've ever seen anyone do. I don't know. And in this game, I mean, I feel like they were same economy. Yes, Serral did make 5 rounds of Zerglings, or 5 larvae or eggs of Zerglings, whatever you want to call it. He made like 10, 12 links total. But still, I feel like AlphaStar just had more in the first place. And I don't know if that's because it's a mirror match, and maybe AlphaStar was literally queuing up drones as he got the larva or minerals. But the economy seems really good, and obviously the timing worked. Now, I don't want to like overblow this. I don't want to say like, oh yeah, this is insane build, Serral got wrecked and stuff like that. Maybe, you know, if they played another game, I'm sure Serral would, you know, not necessarily win, but would do much better. And this is not, you know, saying that AlphaStar is insane and can beat Serral and that's the end of humanity, but it is an interesting thing to look at. And another thing that obviously I want to mention is Serral did not play on his own gear. Neither of us did, right? It was a completely different setup, so I don't know. Maybe he didn't take it as seriously. Maybe he didn't think it would do that well. I don't know. But I do think that if Serral plays like a best of 5 against AlphaStar, it would probably... AlphaStar would probably lose, but... You know. Because I saw some people making much bigger deal out of it than it is. You know, like, oh my god, Serral lost? So that means AlphaStar is the best player in the... It's like, no, it's not. Again, guys, I'm not saying this to stroke my own carrot. Like, I've beaten AlphaStar 7-3, and Serral is a million times better than I am. So, it's not that AlphaStar is, like, insanely skilled. It's, I don't know, maybe Serral didn't play well. Maybe he played against strats that he's never seen before. Whatever the case is, we're checking. Serral versus Terran AlphaStar. Now this game, I haven't asked Serral about it at all, and he hasn't mentioned it. And spoilers, I think he won this game, but the game is 17 minutes. So I'm actually curious what exactly happened. Because I found, sorry, one sec. I found that the Terran AlphaStar from my TVT games and from my TVT games and my PVT games that I played only one PVT though, that AlphaStar Terran plays really weird. Like it has its own builds and they're just like off, kind of like Zerg, I guess, in the last game, but even like weirder. Because that timing that the Zerg AlphaStar did, I mean, yeah, it's, you know, Serral probably hasn't seen it, but it's like, okay, I see why he's doing it. The Terran AlphaStar that, from the games I've played, it just does weird builds that I don't know. Anyway, so we'll see what happened. I don't know if the AlphaStar did some sick timings. I did hear from people that it has like really good pressure when AlphaStar plays against Zerg, which I found very interesting. I heard that it can be like super aggressive. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so Serral went for pull first, went around the Reaper, managed to, oh, look at that command center, dude. That's so annoying if you're a Terran. Look at that. Because at this point you also get supply blocked as Terran, by the way. Because your CC is basically your third supply depot. If Serral actually made more links, he would have canceled this command center, I think. Okay. Let's see. The Reaper Micro is pretty good. Like, he's trying to do damage. I don't know if he actually killed a drone. I don't think he did. Ooh, killed a creep tumor, though. So see, this is what I mean. Like, really good micro. But... let me ban this guy real quick. There we go. It has really good micro, but this is not how the Terran agents played in TVT or TVP. They played very passive. They actually didn't open Reapers in TVT and TVP at all. They were opening Reactor into just Mass Marines, and then AlphaStars would do like Marine Siege Tank Banshee or Marine Siege Tank Medevac push in TVP and TVT. But like I said, I haven't played it as a, you know, from Zerg point of view, but I heard it's like super aggressive and it's like doing the drops and pushing straight against Zerg like as soon as he gets stim and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't think Serral is 1,000,000 times better than Beastyqt. I actually had a game against Serral. I don't know when it was, like 6 months ago. And I should have won the game, but I threw it. It's on my YouTube channel. I threw it pretty hard. I mean, he outplayed me, but, you know, it's like, it's an age-old question, you know? In order to throw the game, I feel like someone needs to outplay you in a way. I mean, yeah, sure, you can just like AFK and your whole army dies, but most of the time when you throw a winning game at a high level, it's because the other guy put so much pressure on you that you messed up, right? So, and that's kind of what happened, but anyway. Pretty sure Serral would destroy me in most of the games. But I do think I could beat Serral with like a cheeky cannon rush. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is what I mean, like very early push from AlphaStar. And this is TVZ, and it's pushing with Mass Marines. So I don't know exactly the build that it did. It produced no Hellions, right? So it actually continued from Mass Marines and then made a tank as well. Now this is the interesting part. AlphaStar initially had factory right next to the barracks, and when Lynx denied the CC, AlphaStar lifted the factory and went back. And that kind of leads me to believe that it wanted to do Hellions, but it went Reactor Marines because of the whole situation. So you know, why would you put barracks next to your or factory next to your barracks and then move the factory away? Look where the factory is now. It was next to the barracks. So maybe it's just like adjusting to this. If like the Zergos pull first and denies the CC for a bit, maybe it just goes to mass marines. I have no idea. Because I've actually seen 1 or 2 games at BlizzCon where AlphaStar went for Reactor Hellion Liberator Harass. So it can definitely do that kind of playstyle, but... Oh, this is... Wait, what? That's so weird and random. What? It just pushed with 10 Marines with no stim and no combat shields? This is what I mean when I was saying this earlier. Like, the Terran AlphaStar just doesn't... Like... What was that move? Like, what did you expect there, right? Because initially when he did the push, I was like, okay, maybe he's like faking the pressure, you know, and it would go back, but then he just kept pushing. Yeah, it's a little like Bronze League move out. Yeah, with like 10 Marines with no medevacs, nothing. So I do think that out of the 3 races, the Terran AlphaStar is by far the worst. I'm not gonna talk mechanically, because mechanically all 3 races that AlphaStar plays with are obviously good, right? But decision making, scouting, Terran is by far the worst, I would say. Zerg is also kind of silly at times. It can get stuck on like certain tech and just not transition, but the Zerg timings are like insane how good they are. Even if you know they're coming, they can be like super hard to defend. So, you know. So the way that Terran is positioning the siege tanks and stuff, this is kind of what we saw from replays when I reviewed them like 2-3 months ago, a while ago. And we saw that Terran AlphaStar just kept massing siege tanks and never pushed down, kind of thing. But now it's trying to drop and stuff, so I don't know. Okay, trying to drop. Serral's defending on point. Okay. Oh, where's the army? Dude, this is such a scary moment where you're Zerg, when you're like defending drops, and then you notice that the Terran army is missing, and you're like, oh, shuck. He's like, Serral's playing pretty well. Like, he's defending all the drops, preventing them from happening. But main engagement is coming. Ooh. Ah, yikes. He sieged up all the tanks in one spot. Yikes. That was terrible siege up. Like, AlphaStar just lost so many tanks to just Ravager Baals. And that's what I mean, like when you look at the Zerg, AlphaStar or Protoss, like when they do their executions, they micro really well. The Terran one, I feel like something that's very basic, like tanks sieging up and splitting it, it just doesn't do it. So, you know. There's a guy with his head again. You can see the multitasking is good, right? But he just makes these decisions that are just like... See? Like, the multitasking is on point. But, the main engagements are pretty bad. Also, I heard that this was before BlizzCon. Someone played against AlphaStar and went Mass Raven, which is like not really a thing in TVT. And AlphaStar completely like derped out and bugged out, because it probably never saw Mass Raven and it didn't know how to deal with it at all. And it like bugged out in a sense of like it just didn't do anything. And then it would push and just make like even weirder decisions. So, I don't know. But good drops. Good drops overall, like keeping Serral busy. Ooh. I don't know if you guys saw that, but AlphaStar just target fired the banelings as they were coming in. But you could see it for like half a second because Serral instantly went into like back and forth. Yoink. Oh no, he can't yoink the units or the medevacs because he doesn't have hydras. So you can see non-stop aggression. But this is the thing. If AlphaStar was like transitioning to something like battle cruisers or, you know, if it was on like 6 bases now, Serral is on 5, like sure, but it's just making the same units right now, you know, and it's like Serral is transitioning and he's making better units. See, there's like more drops happening, but now they're starting to lose value, you know? Like now they're just becoming worse and worse and worse. Oof, there was a lot of Marines that just died. And he just keeps massing the tanks and keeps them like stacked up defending. Okay, so AlphaStar is on 5 bases right now. Oof. Look how many tanks. So you see that multitasking is really good. Like really, really aggressive. It's just that the siege tank pushes are kind of... I honestly do think that this game specifically, I'm not going to say every game, but if the first push was executed better with siege tank spread, and if AlphaStar actually followed up like right now and did a 200 supply push through the middle, it would have probably won the game. Because it did kill quite a few drones. It like almost killed a couple of hatcheries, and I think if the proper... Like look, all the hatcheries are like orange and red. If it did follow up push, it would probably force Serral to like, you know, waste more units, maybe think more, and you know, maybe fall behind on the defense. So let's see. Oh, okay, the push is coming. Is it gonna siege up the tanks again on the same spot? I love how it just keeps stimming Marines past and just try. Look, it just keeps stimming Marines and trying to kill the hatch. I don't know why, but it's so funny. Oh my god, Craigasm. Oh my god, dude, that was so many SCVs. That was like 30 SCVs. That was oversaturated as hell. Okay, siege tanks. Okay, better. It's better. Okay, it's not perfect. It's better split. But look at this. 2 blinding clouds just, or 3 blinding clouds just covered all the tanks. Like that's a very bad even place to siege up tanks. Like look what's left of Serral's army, and that was siege tanks like not even shooting too much. But again, it's kind of like it's kind of like a question of is Terran AlphaStar really good, or is it just staying in the game for this long and doing this well against Serral because of his insane macro? Because I feel like this whole game is going on still because it probably has like super good macro. Oh no. Oh, it's dropping Marines on Banes. That's a good move. Oh no. Yikes. How many ultras does he have? Like 4? No, 6. Okay. So yeah, Serral's economy is not great. 6 ultras at 16 minutes is not a great economy. No infestors. Yeah, he has some ravagers, but if this was like a real game, well, assuming AlphaStar didn't actually lose the 5th base, I think this could have still been an even game. But at this point, AlphaStar is just behind on economy, so it's just gonna get wrecked. Look, non-stop drops, like non-stop. Is that a Marine running into the 4th base trying to kill it, or 5th, or whatever it is? Dude, that Marine is a hero. He's trying to kill the bases so much. It's so funny, and it survives as well. Boop. Parasitic bomb. Oh. And one thing I noticed, AlphaStar doesn't really split too much. The Marines, like, it doesn't really do a lot of splitting as far as, you know, micring versus banelings and stuff like that. I'm not sure why, but that's one thing I feel like it just did not pick up at all from practicing versus itself. Again, like, look at the siege tank positioning. It's just so bad. Like why not siege up tanks right there and then put your Marines here, you know? That's way better. But he just keeps sieging tanks on, like, open space, and for Terran, like, that's a huge thing. And see, it just kites with Marines, it doesn't split. And for Terran, that's a huge thing. And obviously I know someone's gonna be like, "'Cause that's not how AlphaStar learns." I know, but I'm just saying that's one of the big issues for Terran AlphaStar. And I feel like it contributes quite a bit why it sucks the most. Because even with no splitting at all, just microing the drops, it still did, I think, really, really well. And so I don't think, like, microing Marines is necessarily like a must-have. It's just kind of like a bonus. But the engagements, like I said, Serral just leaves because he doesn't want to eliminate the AI. So yeah, I do think that, especially this first push, where is it? I'm gonna try and find it. Yeah, so this was really weird. Again, the Terran AlphaStar, like I said, is a weirdo. Losing like 10-15 Marines there for nothing. And then, when was the first push? That's what I want to see. It was on the bottom side. Yeah, like this. If you look at Serral's army, first of all, AlphaStar is fighting on creep, which is something you should never do against Zerg unless you're sure you're going to win the fight. So look how many Marines there are. That's a good amount of Marines. Realistically, this army is not fighting, right? It's morphing. So he has like 10 Ravagers, Link Bane versus... I don't know if there's a tank right there. There's a tank right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's a tank right there. So 6 tanks versus this army. Like, tanks should obliterate this completely. Like, AlphaStar should have traded better here. And obviously Serral had more army, so he wouldn't lose the game. He's also making more. But AlphaStar would have traded way better. And then suddenly the drop in the main that's happening right now is also better. Because I do think it killed a lot of drones. And it did a lot of damage. But it was just like barely not enough. But that's it. Now, those are the 5 games that I have against Serral that AlphaStar played at BlizzCon live. This is why there's a screen and not, you know, replay, because the computers we played at BlizzCon were different StarCraft II completely, so you can't download the replay and put it into StarCraft II. So that's why we're reviewing them like this. And again, huge thanks to HJax for recording these and sharing these with me. From what I've talked to developers, DeepMind people, from what I've talked to with DeepMind crew, right? I don't think that AlphaStar is continuing as a project. So I would love if there was like a map or whatever where we can play against AlphaStar in StarCraft II. Hopefully that happens, but I do know that the project is not continuing in a way of continuing to try and train AlphaStars to be even better, but it is what it is. I would have loved to see a tournament of like, I don't know, like 8 AlphaStar agents versus 8 human players, like in group stage and then playoffs. I think that would be like insanely cool. I think it would be like just sick to watch. We can only hope one day, but I don't think it's happening. Why did they stop? Because it costs a lot of money to maintain the machines, the computers, to continue practicing. Because AlphaStars are practicing between one another by massing games. And, you know, there's a team behind this that's also doing all of this. So it's not just, you know, turn it on and let it play kind of thing. It costs money. And yeah. But that's it for the AlphaStar's. I do have a lot of replays that have been released just before BlizzCon. I haven't touched any of them. So if you guys would like for me to watch some of them and not cast them, but kind of like analyze them, talk about them, please let me know in the comments below if you guys are watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow with another video for you guys on Twitch. Let's keep going, baby.